This is my knitted socks pattern. This is my version from Beanies4Babies. I have tweaked the pattern in two places. One is over here. I have created stocking stitch instead of the original garter. If you don't want to have stocking stitch in the front, then don't do it in this way. You will just do all the rows in garter stitch, including the decreases. I've also tweaked it in a slightly different way with row 13. I have increased. The original pattern does not increase in row 13. All 14 rows are a rib of purl 1, knit 1, and the opposite row knit 1, purl 1 until you cast off. But they ask for a loose cast off. I found that even if I do a loose cast off, it's still too tight, and if the top part is too tight, the little booty cannot be used by the baby. I prefer to have a loose cast off, and as it is a turnover booty, it is fine as long as this part here is nice and stretchy for the little baby to get his foot in or her foot in. So those are two things that I've changed. The size that she is requiring, the lady, is she wants the booty to be 8 centimeters across and 10 centimeters up. There's my 8 centimeters, and this one is a bit more because this particular booty here, I was being naughty and I made 16 rows. So for the next one I made 14 rows, and it comes to 9.5, 10 centimeters. With this one I also used a slightly smaller needle. I used a 3 3/4, and for this one here I was using a 4. It was to see which one had more bounce in it. I wouldn't say there was much of a difference. Makes it a slightly bigger booty. These are for preemies, but she wants it to last until the baby can actually go home. So from preemie to newborn. But as you can see, this one is quite big. It's almost too big. Stretches out to a 9. And this one here, it keeps its stretch, but it stays at 8 centimeters. So I think I'm actually more happy with a 3 3/4. And as I said, she does want it to be at 10 centimeters. So as this one was the 4 millimeters and there were 16 rows, and this is the 3 3/4 and there are 14 rows, what I might just do is here, instead of 12, I can actually do 14, and that one over there instead of 14, total of 16 rows for the rib. But what you need to do is measure your work as you are working. This is my rudimentary ruler that I like to carry around, and then as you're working, you can see that one's a perfect. It's almost perfect, but not quite. It's more of a 9.5 than a 10. This is the smaller needles. And this one, as you can see, he's a 10 going on to 11. So he's maybe a little bit too big. So I'd have to tweak around the amount of rows that I did. You can take a screenshot of that. And I suggest that you copy it out yourself, write it on a piece of paper. I have made little notes to myself. The way that I cast on means that when I've done 6 rows, my tail's on the same side. If you cast on a different way, your tail will be on the opposite side. I do this because then if I'm knitting them while I'm watching TV, all I have to do is count the bumps. This is a little bump. In garter stitch, I call that a bump. There we go. So in the next video, I will show you how I cast on and knit it.